Hey everyone, it's Karen, and I am here with an amazing entrepreneur, Jill Bender. She did an interview with me that I wanted to share with you about Millionaires Challenge System, or MCS. And if you're taking a look at this to see if it's legitimate or not, I think you'll get a ton of value from this. So go ahead and take it away, Jill.
Karen, I met you in the MCS group, and I know Justina knows, but for anybody that's on here that doesn't know what MCS is, it is the Millionaires Challenge System. And that's where I met Karen, and that is where Karen went from $0 to $6,000, which is incredible. And I asked Karen to come on here today just to kind of tell us about where she started. So I know you've been in this for a long time, right? As an affiliate marketer? Yeah.
Off and on, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I guess if you just want to talk about how it started originally and where it brought you until you got into MCS, just a brief overview of that.
Let's see, back in 2009 is when I started online, because my background's in physical therapy and I just never really was passionate about it. So I told my sister I wanted to get out of it. So she was in a network marketing company, so I joined that, but that was all like offline stuff, like not anything that I like. Home parties, meetings, all that, not my thing. So then I thought, well, there's got to be an easier way to do this. So I came online. Yeah, I think it was 2009. So about 12 years ago. No, I guess it's more than 12 years, 13. And started learning some things like attraction marketing. And I mean, I've probably been in everything you could name company-wise, and different drop shipping, affiliate marketing, everything. So did that, had some success, and then in 2015, I quit everything because of some family health issues, very severe, and I never thought I'd come back at all. I just quit everything, like my autoresponder, I shut everything down. So there was years in there that were really difficult for me, but then because of medical bills, I had to come back online, because I could have gotten a job on the weekends, like working PRN, because you get paid pretty good, you know, as a PT. But I'm hoping my dog isn't going to bark either, because it's right over here. I was needed at home, so I couldn't get a job on the weekends. So I thought, okay, I'm coming back online. This is in 2018, and I'm going to make it work. So that's when I started back online. Started with YouTube marketing, had some success with different things, but not enough that I could replace my income. And so it was last October that I was on Facebook and I saw someone who was doing very well in another affiliate marketing program posted something on his wall. And it was funny because I said to myself, oh, I'm already in that, because I've done so many things. But it wasn't. So I took a look at it and I was just, I just couldn't believe it. The live stream that I watched, I was like hooked.
Yeah.
So, and all my 12 years online, I've never seen anything this good.
I watched the live stream, and I think I booked the call. I watched that live stream at 10 o'clock at night. I was ready to go to bed, and it was a 3-hour live stream that I watched, and I stayed up and I was just like glued to it. I couldn't shut it off. And then I even messaged back and forth with Zach, and I'm like, don't you sleep, you know? And he was responding back, and then I booked my call like that.
Right. And I think
so
that
powerful.
Yeah, for me, it was like he was speaking just directly to me, to my soul. That's what other people have said too. But I think what did it for me, that I was like, I've got to do this. I don't care. I'm going to find a way to do it. Was that I realized like what I was doing wrong for all those years.
Yeah.
And once you have that, you're like, okay, then I see how that I can change that, and why people don't necessarily buy from you. I mean, they might like you and comment on your posts and like your posts and stuff, but they don't necessarily buy from you. And when you can understand like why they that's not working for you and how to change it. That was like, you know, that's when I got started, and I was like just blown away still there's nothing that I don't like about it. And I can't say that about anything that I've done before.
Yeah. And just for anybody else, anybody that's on here, if you could please heart the video if you're enjoying it. If you can do #live or #replay, that will help us out. It'll push the video out for more people also. Okay, Karen, so you started with MCS in October then?
Right, the end of October, but yeah, it just takes a little bit to get started.
It does.
Go through the training and get things set up. So I probably didn't start promoting until sometime in November, I guess, because my personal life is just, it's crazy. The things I do besides online business, it's just, we don't want to get into it, but anyway, I have a lot of other stuff I do.
Yeah, I definitely also, I'm a single mom and of a 5-year-old, and then I do work full time, and yeah, there's a lot to take care of. I'm up pretty late, you know, but I love it. Ever since I've, you know, got into this group, I enjoy all of it, and I have a list of things, and I'm like, I'm gonna be up all night. I just want to, you know, knock out these things, and I get so excited about it. And yeah. What is your process, I guess, if you can explain what you do that is bringing sales?
Oh, and by the way, if you want to take a further look at Millionaires Challenge System, that'll be the first link in the description below this video. Go ahead and put in your name and your email, and in that first email, you're going to get a training that's probably not like anything you've ever learned before. You can find out why it is that you've been failing in the past and what causes people to buy from you. It's just a lot of valuable information. You don't want to miss that. So if you want to check it out further, again, click that first link in the description below the video.
Sure. Well, when I started back in 2018, I just was focusing on YouTube, and I did a lot of product reviews on my channel. Like I started YouTube back in 2009. I didn't know what I was doing. So I have some pretty crazy videos on there. But when I started back in 2018, I started doing like product reviews, like ClickBank products and then business opportunities, some MLM companies, because that's what I was being taught. And then you direct people, not necessarily in the video, but you have like your #1 recommendation in the description below your video. So you could say that at the end, or maybe like a 3 to 4 minutes. Oh, by the way, if you want to learn my #1 recommendation for making money from home, click the first link in the description below the video. You can check it out if you like. And then you have your lead capture page there. And I had like, of course, a lot of different things that I promoted. And I had like a Click Magic link. So right now I have 1,000 videos. I could change out that link. Like, let's say I promoted another business, which I could just switch it out. It'd be in all the videos. So people started to trust me because I was doing these product reviews, and people that are searching for a review on something are most likely ready to make a purchase, or they're looking for something to join. What would happen is people would see my review of whatever. Well, the one that I made the most money is I did a review of a high ticket program, and I didn't like all the features of it. But I didn't say that, you know, of course I didn't put anything down. I was just giving them the facts. And then a lot of people said, well, I watched it and I really appreciate your honesty, but I liked yours better. And that's why they called me and they joined me. So I started building a trust with people because they said, I just feel like you're honest, like, and trustworthy. And that's what, you know, video can do. So that's how I started, and I learned to just not necessarily like review your product, but just direct people to it, and then they can find out about it. So I did have a little bit of a following, and I did do a little bit of Facebook marketing, but I never learned Facebook marketing like we're doing now, like the right way to do it. And yeah, I seriously have not had that many people reach out to me about something as I have MCS. That's just because of the way that I'm learning to market on Facebook. So those are the 2 ways that I've used. I mean, I've had to cut back actually on YouTube because I'm really focused on Facebook, and I'm still, I don't want to lose, you know, any momentum on YouTube, but just time-wise, I have to just cut back on that. But
it's a lot.
But Facebook, I can see, is like the easiest way to get high ticket sales, because YouTube is more of like a long-term strategy.
Yeah.
But I would say probably a couple came from YouTube and then some from Facebook. But I've had so many people reach out to me on Facebook just because of my content that I'm putting out.
On YouTube? Oh, on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. I had watched an interview prior to MCS. I had watched an interview from somebody who was doing really well. And he said his number one strategy was, he's on TikTok, but he would direct people to his Facebook page. And he said, and that's really where I'm converting, the sales. And I took that information and I found it to be very valuable, but I really didn't do anything with it. And it wasn't until MCS that I finally understood how to actually do something with it. And that was probably why I didn't really act on it back then, because I didn't know. I was like, okay, well, I'll send them to my Facebook page, but
right,
I wouldn't have known what to do with them once they got there. So yeah, I understand that. When you said you had a pretty good following, your following was primarily from YouTube, right? At that time?
Right. I have like 17,000 subscribers.
Nice.
But it's kind of like our mentor was saying, you can have like all these likes and hearts and comments, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're making enough money to leave your job. I would get sales here and there, but the thing I think that's different now that I really like is that, I still can't believe sometimes the power of video, because I've promoted, like I said, all kinds of stuff. And there's a lot of high ticket programs out there that have absolutely no value of the products. And they're just, they have products that they've thrown in there to make it look legitimate. And you just buy into it to sell it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That there's no, like, I've made 2 $11,000 sales through my YouTube videos.
Wow.
Just had like a short conversation with them. They joined. But the problem with that is, number one, there's no value at all in the products. And the training is teaching someone to purchase traffic. So they may purchase like $1,000 worth of traffic, get leads, never make any sales. And I never felt good about that.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like is so different about MCS. I feel good referring someone to it, because I know if they're serious, they're going to get results, if they stick with it long enough.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to worry about them. They're in good hands. They got the coaching in place, like everything for them to be successful. And I felt like these other biz ops that I was promoting, I felt bad because these people spent all this money. One day I made $7,500 on my way to work.
Awesome.
But I didn't feel good because the person, I think it's maybe a different type of audience too, like more people that are seeking biz ops, like maybe get rich quick.
Yeah.
Because then I might never hear from them again, after they spent $11,000. But I feel good here because I just know that there's a different type of audience that we're marketing to that maybe hasn't had success before and really wants to learn the skills, because there's no skills in saying, okay, go buy this text message blast, this ring this voicemail drop, this solo ad. There's no skill in that. And it's like a lottery.
Yeah.
And so when you can learn the skills that are like, okay, I can actually get out of my job and stay out of my job, because it's one thing to leave your job, but it's another thing, like, I have this skill that's going to pay me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about MCS, is it's just, you're learning all those skills. And you have to feel good about what you're promoting too.
I even feel like MCS is really, a lot of the stuff that we've learned has changed me as a person in a very short period of time. But I have way better habits, daily habits. I have such a different way that I look at certain things. And, I'm in a group text with my 3 siblings and my dad, and the stuff they send back and forth, I almost never even look at anymore, and I rarely reply back. And I feel bad that I'm not replying, but I'm not focused on any of that, you know, stuff. And to me, it's kind of negative stuff that they either are complaining about or whatever. And it doesn't even faze me anymore. I'm just like, oh, there's another thing. And I just set it to the side. As before, I was just, that was like, oh, I got to make sure I'm replying. I got to make sure, you know, I'm involved. And I don't want to say I don't care because it's my family, but it's not as important, you know, to me. Yeah, exactly.
I definitely understand what you're saying. And that's the other thing too, is the focus that I've learned, because I was maybe promoting different things, not a whole lot, but just that extreme focus. And I've seen people in MCS in a short period of time, just like their income just skyrocket because of that focus. You know, they were doing okay before, but it's like when you learn what we're learning there, it's just, and get off of everyone's email list and stop looking at other things and just focus on this. It's really good.
It is. Okay, so we're gonna, if anybody has any questions, start, you know, put that in the comments. My question to you, Karen, is if you could name, you know, 2 or 3 of the top reasons that, and you've kind of already touched on this, of why MCS is so great, but why it's different, I guess. Even if it's kind of repeating what you just said, but 2 or 3, you know, like key things that you think.
Okay. One thing is the simplicity of it, because in all my 12 years of doing this, I can name maybe 3 programs that I felt like the products were quality, like you could actually learn something. But there was so much of it. There wasn't like a clear path. Like it was so overwhelming. Like one, really good, but I think there's like 100 videos that you have to go through or something, just like you are so overwhelmed before you even get started. And with this, it was like, there's just one single clear path. I never had like a daily plan of action, never like this simple, that would actually get you results. So that's number one. I had written down some things here too. Learning how to create the right kind of content. Because like I said, I did Facebook marketing before, and I learned to do the results, value, lifestyle. I was doing that. No one ever reached out to me, but it's learning how to connect with somebody through your content. Like I'm learning how to put my content in a story. Like this is one thing that was huge to me. People don't like to be told what to do. So a lot of times our marketing would be like, oh, look how great this is. It's like you're telling them, hey, you got to look at this. But when you put it in a story and you had this problem that you overcame it, and then this is how you solved it, then you're not telling them what to do. They make that assumption like, oh, well, if that worked for her, then maybe it'll work for me. And it's just another way that people can relate to you.
Yeah.
So learning to put out the right kind of content. And I've had people say they're really enjoying and they can relate to me, you know, whereas before it's like you're just talking at them.
Yeah.
So that is huge. And one of the main reasons too was the phone closers. That was one of the reasons why I looked at it. Not only that, but because of the high ticket, because if I'm going to replace my income being a PT, I got to have high ticket. But because I had no desire to get on a Zoom call with anyone, or wouldn't be that good at it, probably time-wise either. But what I like about MCS, because I know there's other companies, and I've kind of seen that where it's high pressure to get somebody to buy something. It doesn't matter, you know, who the person is, high pressure. And with this, it's like, it has to be a good fit. Person has to be a positive person that's going to have results. And then there's no pressure. It has to be a good fit. And I think recently it was said that people who decided not to become a customer for whatever reason, they were just very complimentary of the phone closers. They're not high pressure. They're there to help people. And so I think that's another thing that I really like. And that you can use them to close your sales for you while you're out doing, sleeping or whatever.
Yeah, that is a huge bonus.
I mean, I could go on and on. I have a whole list here. That's right enough.
You can list some more things if you want.
Oh, the lifetime coaching. Yes, the support. I mean, I've been with companies before where, you can turn in a support ticket, maybe 3-4 days later, you might hear something back. The support here is like nothing I have seen, not only from the owner, but the lifetime coaching. And then you get like twice a week, you can get coached, and it's different from any other coaching that I've had. You can turn in your work to have it reviewed and then get feedback like, this is what you need to improve on. So that's huge. And then just hearing what other people, their content and the critique on their content. So it's just like you're learning this skill and they're helping you to get better at that skill. And I've just never seen anything like it as far as the support. And they'll stay on there like 3 hours to get everyone's questions answered. And you feel like you're important. You could ask a question in the group, you'll get an answer back pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you never get stuck like I did in other things.
Yeah, that is huge. I don't feel stuck. I always felt stuck. I'm like, okay, and stuck could cost you months. I have
the
been
technical
stuck.
part of it too, yeah.
And sometimes you're like, okay, well, I'm not doing this. And then you remember, months down the road, you're like, no, wait, I have to do this. And then you get to that point again, you're like, oh, wait, I was stuck and nobody was helping with that. And I love that constant, there's always somebody that's there, that's always helping. They're so helpful.
And there's an atmosphere where there's no negativity, like that's not tolerated. So there's no one anywhere that's complaining or negative. They just are not allowed. And that's kind of people that I want to hang out with. So I love that too.
I love my Facebook group of friends. Everybody's so great. I commented on somebody's post one time that I almost like them better than when I had my personal friends on here and family. Everybody's so supportive. And I had a comment with somebody where I felt like I was talking in circles, and I'm like, I'm just talking in circles, and he knew exactly what I was talking about, and I said, oh yeah, I forgot I was now surrounding myself with like-minded people, and you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that's been huge, and that's been really, really good.
Right, and I think there's a lot of people out there struggling because they've been in so many things and they're really skeptical. And I'm just glad that I looked at this, because I did at first think, oh, it's another one of those things. And I've been a part of those things before, but I'm really glad that I did take a look. So just looking at a live stream, it can change your life. And it's not a biz op, real hypey kind of thing. It's where you learn actual skills that'll pay you. And even if people, don't see results right away, I think this Parker recently that took him 90 days, and then just in 3 weeks, he made $10,000. So
I think I heard he was at like $16,000 now. That's what I heard that I thought in our live, I don't know if Nate's still on here, but I thought that Daniel had said that yesterday, that he was at 16 now, which is incredible and very, very hopeful for, anybody that was like, okay, I've been on here, a while, and if nothing's happened for them yet. But yeah, it really speaks truthful too.
He almost quit. And I think that's what happens. Like, people don't see results in like 3-4 months, and then they just jump to something else because they think, well, this isn't working, let me try this. But that training, I think it's module 1 that talks about long-term thinking, that people should listen to that like every single day, because
Mhm.
that's what I think stops people, is they just think, oh, it's not working.
Yeah.
But yet, if he had quit at 3 months, he wouldn't be. Well, he's quitting his job too, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually interviewing him, so I will be doing a live with him.
Oh, good.
On the 25th is when he has time now, because I think he said he's going off to Florida for a week with his family, and then
Mm-hmm.
he's doing another interview. But yeah, I'm excited to bring him on for that. You know, he's 90 days, and the program does say 10K in 90 days, and he's right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really excited that I got to speak with you, and I had no idea. It's kind of an added bonus, because I didn't really know your background very well, and I didn't know that you had been in it for so long. So that speaks really highly of MCS, that you have experienced so many different programs, and you can kind of see through the junk and what really is going to be of value. And I have only been in 2 other programs, and I am a very, I can't just say I'm a very positive person, but I always do see the good side of everything. So I sometimes don't see negative sides. And I think the 2 programs that I chose, I thought they were good, but I never was seeing anything. And I wasn't learning anything like I've learned in the past couple months that I've been with them. It's pretty incredible. So. Did you have any other final comments? I don't see any questions over here. So do you have any comments? Anything else you wanted to add before we end this?
I guess I wanted to say that even if you have spent a bunch of money, like me, been in everything you could imagine, don't be afraid to look at something that might change your life. I don't know if you know the great Mark Overson. He passed away a few years ago, but he was a multimillionaire in network marketing. And I listened to this training after he passed away that he had with Ray Higdon. And he said the thing that he saw in common with all people who finally had their breakthrough was that they had spent a ton of money. And what finally happened was they saw enough people that were just like them having success. They had enough points of reference that they finally believed that they could do it. And then that's when they broke through. So, if you're listening and you've been in like tons of things and think that you're a failure and spend all this money, it doesn't matter, because you can still find something like MCS where you can finally have that breakthrough and have success. So
yeah, that's great.
Again, if you want to take a further look at Millionaires Challenge System, that'll be the first link in the description below this video. If it's a good fit for you, I look forward to working with you. If you want to take a further look at it, I did do a review on MCS. Go ahead and click here. It's getting started right now.